Welcome back into America's Weather Center. Tropical Storm Arthur officially forming in the Gulf as our first named storm of the 2026 hurricane season. Tropical storm warnings already in effect along coasts from Texas to Louisiana. The system is already extremely close to the coast with the potential to make landfall in Texas in the next couple of hours. Now, this is definitely a little bit of a sloppier system, but it's going to have a major impact regardless. We've been watching this system. Earlier this morning was a potential tropical system, but now, of course, Tropical Storm Arthur official as of the 11 a.m. advisory. Right now, looking at the stats, 40-mile-per-hour winds at this point, northeast moving at 9 miles per hour. So it has started to speed up a little bit compared to what we saw earlier this morning. That pressure has also dropped just slightly from the earlier advisory. But again, at 11 a.m., we're looking at 40-mile-per-hour winds at this point, moving at nearly 10 miles per hour. So again, looking into our buoy wind gusts, because it's not only going to be the tropical moisture that we have been hammering home for you guys, but it's also going to be the very gusty winds that are going to be very impactful. I mean, looking at this buoy, this is the latest wind gust that we got out of this area. Nearly 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. Galveston, Texas, getting a nearly 60-mile-per-hour wind gust at the most recent look at this. So it has been incredibly impactful already, this storm. Now, on top of this, too, there have been some reports of some gustier winds also moving up towards Louisiana as the storm continues to track up towards the northeast. So at this point right now, it's potentially going to be making official landfall in the course of the next few hours. Now, this is a really interesting system because right now it is kind of riding the coast. It kind of feels like half of it is on land. It's mostly this kind of messier blob that's just sitting just to the east of where the center rotation is of this tropical storm that we have to watch out for. That's where the majority of, obviously, the moisture and the rain and the intense flooding impacts will be coming from. So right now we do have a tropical storm watch on deck for the coastal regions of Texas as well as into Louisiana. Tropical storm warning on deck too. That's going to be going into effect right now and as we continue throughout the next few hours moving into tomorrow as well. Now, not only are we also looking at obviously the tropical downpours that we've been watching out for already, but also a bit of that storm surge. It's also going to be a possibility along the coast into Texas as well as into Louisiana, up to 3 to 4 feet of storm surge possible with this tropical system. So as of right now, again, this is what I was kind of talking about here. Here's that center rotation. And here is all of that moisture, all of those thunderstorms that are just kind of sitting just to the east of where that center is. So it's been an interesting system to watch. It's been a little bit sloppy for the most part this morning, but again, still making a major impact. You can see that a little bit better on visible satellite, a bit more of that spin, more of that rotation going on just to the south of Houston at this point. So on top of this, too, this tropical system kind of found its perfect little pocket where there was hardly any hostile winds that had to battle. But as it starts to track towards the north, as it's expected to move this way and more towards the northeast, it's going to be running into some really hostile conditions. So that's the thing. Once it starts to make landfall very quickly, it'll die out quickly as well, having to battle some wind shear over the course of the next few hours and the next few days. But that's not going to dampen down its tropical moisture impact. That's where the rain comes in. That's when the floods come in for folks throughout Louisiana, Mississippi, and into Alabama. Let's get a closer look at some of those winds, though, first, because even as we move throughout the rest of the day today, those wind gusts are expected to really fire up. We're expecting maybe close to 30, 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, maybe even 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts at times, like we did end up already seeing in parts of Galveston, Texas, and also near the Houston area as well. So we still have a ways to go with this tropical system, creating some serious problems for folks along the Gulf Coast. We've already seen so much flooding impact for them as well. So that's why it's going to be in a particularly dangerous situation throughout the Gulf Coast, up even more so inland as that tropical system continues to track up towards the northeast. It will get torn apart very quickly. I want to reiterate that. But it is going to be a strong storm when it comes to those wind gusts and, of course, that tropical impact when it comes to the rainfall, too. Now let's focus on Tropical Storm Arthur. Obviously, it's forming out into the Gulf, but let's talk about the flooding that has already been seen throughout parts of Texas and Louisiana, too. So we are going to be looking into that. Right now, you're looking at parts of Alabama with some gustier winds. Of course, you want to make sure you're following our Fox Weather blog. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen. That's going to allow you to get all of those live, up-to-date updates as we continue to track this system that's going to be just firing up along the southern coast here. So this flooding, it has been so dangerous for a lot of us, too. That's why we've been really focusing on a lot of this over the course of the past couple of days. You know, business owners, homeowners, and business owners are going to need to be on high alert for this storm. Fox Weather's Craig Herrera was able to actually chat with a company that provides innovative solutions for all of that as well. So we'll be jumping into that in just a little bit here. But for the most part right now, that flood threat, already in the course of the past couple of days for us, we have seen multiple rounds of rain. We've seen nearly a foot of rain for some spots too. So let's get a closer look into some of those impacted areas. I mean, Chambers, Louisiana, there are almost a foot of rain in the past couple of days since our Sunday here. But taking a look into some spots throughout Louisiana just from yesterday, 4 inches of rain nearly. That's the 9th wettest June day on record for this area throughout Louisiana. Daily record broken. That previous record was under 2 inches. So it completely smashed this record, just jumped it out of the water. That old record was from 1940 as well. So haven't seen that rainy of a day in a while there. Now, flood and rain reports already being posted over the past 24 hours throughout the Gulf Coast, throughout Texas, as well as into Louisiana and Alabama. Hence why we do have those flood alerts through our Friday. So we've been seeing these flooding impacts since Sunday night. And now as we move into the later half of this work week, they continue on into our Friday. And it's going to be extending into parts of Georgia, Alabama, into Mississippi. And you'll also note, too, that a lot of these flood alerts are going to be moving up towards the north as we move into the later half of this week because of Tropical Storm Arthur continuing to track up towards the northeast. So looking at all of the available moisture that we have, take a look at this. That really dark blue color, that is so incredibly deep, and a lot of that we have to watch out for that. We did just get a special advisory as well. So I am going to jump over back into our advisory changes that are coming up from this tropical storm. Let's take a closer look into this right now. Hang on, we're going to update this really quick. Bear with me, guys. This is just coming in to our Fox weather currently. Here we go. Okay, Tropical Storm Arthur. Actually, those winds have now just picked up 45 miles per hour. Look at this. That pressure has dropped by 2. Still moving out into the northeast by 9 miles per hour. So this is the 12 p.m. advisory. It's already getting pretty strong. It's strengthened within the past hour and a half or so. So the alerts have also been expanded. Tropical storm warnings extending throughout the Gulf Coast of Texas, as well as into parts of Louisiana. So we have that tropical storm warning now extending for a lot of the coast here. So let's get a closer look into what's going on currently. Tropical Storm Arthur, you can see, again, a very sloppy system at this point. But just to the south of Galveston, that is where we're starting to see that rotation, or at least have that decent rotation going on. But you will notice that a lot of the rain, the storms are sitting just to the east of the system. Hence why it's a little bit of a messy system to look at on radar. But the impacts, we've already seen them. They've been so incredibly strong over the course of the past couple of hours. So I want to take a closer look again, since we have just gotten that update. I want to look at those wind speeds and those wind gusts that are currently impacting the area right now. I mean, still Galveston, look at this, wind gusts of 59 miles per hour. That's pretty incredible. A buoy also getting around 50 mile per hour wind gusts here. We're getting this in Galveston Bay, North Jetty, wind gusts of 51 miles per hour. Yeah, this is already a very impactful storm when it comes to that. Also, so when we're talking about the gustier winds, of course, it's going to be impactful on land, but also it creates really intense rip currents. The surf is going to be very intense. We're also going to have to watch out for more of that storm surge, too. So as we track throughout the next couple hours, even though we just saw Arthur get a lot stronger within the past hour or so, it potentially kind of dying out as we get into the later half of today, as we continue to watch this storm make official landfall. It's been interesting, though, because it is kind of riding the coast, so it's kind of half on land already. But it will be making its landfall later on today. Again, those tropical storm warnings for Texas, Louisiana. This extends all the way from Brazosport all the way to Morgan City throughout Louisiana. So a big chunk of real estate needs to be on high alert. This storm is going to be packing a punch when it comes to those tropical impacts. So again, keeping a close eye on this here at Fox Weather. That's the latest update on Tropical Storm Arthur.